Sacchio with Fit Money CPA, where vet med meets smart business. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Wanted to go a little different route today on our discussion. And have you guys ever thought about niching down? Yeah, I know it's either niche or niche. Well, I'm in the Midwest, so it is niche. But anyway, um, have you thought about it? Either niching down or niching down. So the advantage of that is that you can go deeper into one subject. We've got and I'm sure most cities do, but we have a vet here that is cat specific. And I don't see any dog specific veterinarians, but whatever. But again, that person is going deeper into the feline medicine as opposed to just having to do general medicine. So if you have thought about niching down, what about exotics? Have you given that any thought whatsoever? Let's just go over a couple of statistics. I just Googled it and was able to get some really good information on it. And it looks like that 13% of the U.S. households have exotic pets. Now, this particular study is putting exotics as birds, reptiles, amphibians, rabbits, ferrets, and other small mammals. Now, I do have a buddy of mine that has 19 birds, and I know that we have one bird specialist here in Louisville. So obviously, if there's 13% of our population, that's 13,000 people that would have, actually it's 130,000 people that would have some type of an exotic pet. Hamsters, mice, don't want mice, but the cats take care of that. But think about it. If there's one vet for 130,000 people, then that one vet is probably maxed out and stressed and running around in circles trying to take care of all of the pets. So it might be a good opportunity for someone else to come into the market and not necessarily be competition because they need help, but help them out by offering other services. So the exotic pet market is projected to exceed $3.5 billion by 2027. Folks, that's a year and a half away. I know it's a shocker, but that's right around the corner. So think about it. If you could be a part of that growing market, that might free up some of your stress, some of your ability to learn something more for yourself, learn something for your patients, and maybe cut out some of the non-profitable portions of your business. And again, we can all take a look at that together. So what does this mean? It means high demand and low supply. So guess what? If you remember way back when to college, when you had that economics class, supply and demand. The more demand, the less supply, the higher the price. So you could charge a premium for seeing these exotic animals. Now, to me, they don't seem so exotic, but I would think they do not go in the realm of general practitioners. So, what else? The clients seem to want to travel, or at least be willing to travel hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, so that their baby, whatever particular exotic animal this is, their baby can get treatment. So, again, there's that demand that people are willing to take that extra step for, again, their babies. We've already talked about lack of local competition. So I understand as GPs, you probably have some knowledge of these animals, but an in-depth knowledge it's probably not reasonable considering the broad base of animals that you have to know. Unlike human medicine, you have different systems for each pet, not systems, but different ways that they work, the systems work and the anatomy works. So, if something works for a kitty, it may not work for a bird. And I'm preaching to the choir here, but you understand what I'm talking about. So the exotics seem to require frequent checkups. So maybe as much as biannual wellness checks. You could specialize in exotic husbandry. You could specialize in emergency care for the exotic animals. And, but getting into this niche, it's very possible that you can predict your revenue. You predict your income, your expenses, and your net profit. Just what we've been talking about all along. You can cross sell. Maybe you have some species specific food out in your lobby, in your waiting area. Maybe there's some special supplements that maybe that bird needs that, say, a dog wouldn't need. You might have some enclosures or some other special equipment that you could sell to your clients. And if you look at it this way, that's another revenue stream for you. Now, we would need to talk if you want to keep it under your vet practice or if we want to set up another company. But again, it's another stream of revenue. You might have some partnering opportunities. And what's that look like? How about a zoo? So I know this is crazy, but when I was little, my pediatrician was also the monkey doctor at the zoo. Well, I think even though humans and monkeys are similar, I would think that a veterinarian would be better served with that job. Unless, of course, my parents are telling me that I'm a monkey. But anyway, that's another story for me to deal with, and I will. But some other things that you could partner with: husbandry workshops, and you could surgical procedures. We have the ERs that have their surgeries available, their surgery rooms that take care of this, but they also see specialized pets. They see specialized cases, I should say. And I believe that this ER here in town does some exotics, but I don't think they do them all. And if they had a surgery case and you could work with them on that surgery case, again, it's another revenue stream. So there might be some breeders that you could partner with, maybe some wildlife rehab centers. That would be tough and rewarding all at the same time. It would just kill me for losing any type of animal. But the reward that you would get from helping an animal from sickness or injury back to 100%, 90% health has to be just so rewarding to you guys. So what we're looking for is revenue diversification. And again, it's just different places to look if you do decide to niche down into the exotics. So maybe there's an intellectual challenge here too. And again, I'm getting this all from Google. So if we believe what Google says, and it is a tool, so we can work with it, but the exotic medicine provides more diagnostic complexity and some surgical variety, which I would think in your all's world would be exciting. I know just strictly doing tax returns, it gets boring after a while, but you sit there and you do them and you do them. But when you have that challenge pop up that you're helping someone with a tax plan and seeing them succeed, success being paying as little in tax as possible. To me, that's the challenge. That's the fun of my job. And yes, my job can be fun. Another thing is that, exotics are feel good, especially for the media. So the media tends to feature the exotics on their newscasts, at their soft spots. But that could be a way you could get your name out into the public, into the community, that, hey, this is what I do, and this is what I'm proud of doing. So let's stretch our paws and let's go out there and see if we can niche down into the exotics, niche down into anything. Um, it might take your career in a different path and maybe a more satisfying path as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks.